Hello all, this is Mr. Lucid Elger here, back with another audio commentary for you guys today. I just thought I'd come up here and do a video response to Lundrick. He did a video there a couple of days ago talking about rebooking Summerslam 2000 and how he thought it was kind of overrated and show that gets a lot of praise. I mean, obviously it's not the best SummerSlam of all time, but 2000 was such a great year. I still really enjoyed the show. Thought it was like a 7.58 show easily. You've got a lot of great stuff on here. You've got some filler crap on here which could have been built a lot better, but you know, I've got like a 4-hour show booked here. I really think like the bigger show should be like 4 hours. Like Rumble could be 3, but could be a 4-hour show. WrestleMania 4, SummerSlam, and you know, possibly Survivor Series or King of the Ring could be 4. Especially King of the Ring in terms of you know, tournament structure. 4-hour show won't really go down too badly, I don't think. So, you know, I've got 11 matches on this card, so I'll get into it. So the first match, I've kind of gone differently. I've gone Chris Jericho against X-Pac. 2 out of 3 falls for the IC title. Now, yeah, it's not exactly set up right, but what I thought is, you know, Chris Jericho was quite popular in 2000, so have him have a pretty decent run with the IC title, have him face against decent people. I can't remember exactly when in 2000 when he actually won the IC title, but I'd have a decent run where he eventually might lose it in the fall of 2000, later on down the year, because you're still kind of building him up to possibly be that main event guy in 2001, 2002, or 2003, so and having a match like this against X-Pac, a guy who's you know, a pretty good in-ring competitor, you know, can put on some pretty solid matches. Just a really nice way to open the show, kind of get the crowd really into it. Yeah, you know, 2 good wrestlers, fast paced, something just to, you know, get the crowd into it. A good way to kick off the show. So around 12 to 15 minutes, could go a little longer. I don't want it to go too long, like 20 plus, but I think you know, maybe the first 2 falls could go quickish. Maybe like you know, X-Pac gets a bit of heel way to win the first one, so he goes 1-0 up, and then Jericho gets one back in a couple of minutes, and then the last fall's kind of a fight for the title. I think this would just help build up Chris Jericho slowly over this year, and you know, X-Pac's kind of an underrated guy. You know, I don't think he's ever going to win the world title, but just a good solid match, and Jericho to retain the IC title. Next match, we've got a tag team match. Now, one thing about 2000 we can say is that the tag team division was so stacked. We had so many tag teams, it's unbelievable. So in my eyes, that you need to kind of, you know, stack the show with you know, a lot of quality tag teams and stuff like that. So what I've gone for is Too Cool against Test and Albert. Nothing much here. You know, you don't really need to build it. Same with the first match. You don't really need to build it. Just try and work around the IC title. X-Pac's desire to maybe kind of say he's going away from DX, wants to go on his own again. You know, win championships, all that kind of stuff. And this match is just kind of a filler match. I don't know what you could build as a little storyline to build up to the match, but it doesn't have to be much. A 6 to 8 minute match would be pretty cool. Probably have Test and Albert go over maybe in a heel way. Keep Too Cool looking okay. I mean, they weren't the top of the tag teams. Test and Albert I actually liked as a tag team. Thought they did some nice stuff. Pretty underrated actually. Can't remember exactly if they got the tag straps in 2000 either. If anyone would like to comment, let me know. But yeah, have them go over maybe a heel way, and you know, a solid second match. You know, the thing about this card is that it goes from, you know, your lower card matches and builds up gradually to, you know, some big matches, like, you know. So it's quite a good solid structure for the card. Third match, we got Eddie Guerrero and Perry Saturn. Now, yeah, I guess we'll have Perry Saturn go in as champion. I believe he was European champion at the time, so this would be for the European title. You know, around this time you saw all the dissent with the Radicals falling apart, kind of going their own separate ways. And yeah, I think this would be a nice little landmark match for both guys. Probably especially Eddie Guerrero with all his talent and stuff. And you know, around this time and the next couple of months, you saw his personality come out, as Lundrick said. So I don't know, just build up like you know, Eddie's desire to, you know, move away from the Radicals. You know, he felt like he was getting put down in the stable. Perry Saturn just wants to show dominance. You know, similar kind of feud to the IC title match, perhaps, but maybe a bit more storylines. As this was like two guys in a faction kind of feuding against each other. So a nice little match. Go 10 to 12 minutes around that time. Have Eddie go over, win the strap. You know, he could hold the strap till end of the year, early next year, easily. Just have him face against credible opponents. Yeah, I think this would be a nice match. As your third match. Fourth match now, we got the Right to Censor against APA. So the Right to Censor were getting pretty popular at this time. I believe you had Stevie Richards. I don't think you had Val Venus at the time. And yeah, I think it was Goodfather and Bull Buchanan. So I think what Stevie Richards would do is just send out those two guys, and their opponents would be the APA. I think this would be a really good match. In terms of just like, you know, basically they were trying to censor a lot of stuff in 2000. I think this was some fight back and kind of parody by WWE, saying that parents and stuff were complaining about all the content that they were putting out towards kids and stuff. And APA were quite a controversial group, like gambling, smoking, and beating the shit out of people. So a perfect storyline feud where it makes sense that the Right to Censor want to stop someone like the APA. So I mean, this could be like a pay-per-view feud that goes on a couple of months, like into the like Unforgiven, No Mercy, even possibly as far as Survivor Series. But I think it'd be something nice. Give both teams to do something. And I think you could see some kind of good storylines where you see the Right to Censor get some ups on APA. You know, even you could develop the storyline where Stevie Richards down the line could actually try and recruit APA as becoming Right to Censor members. I'm not sure exactly if that happened, but those are some ideas anyway. But it's tough to know. I say you have to maybe put Right to Censor over, and it could be clean, you know. Clean, maybe heel, I don't know. Maybe TNA go over clean, and then this could be the heel victory, and then, you know, APA still look decently strong. Then they can go for the rematch and win that match, and then maybe have the third or fourth match to settle the feud. So, you know, yeah, that'd be fine. And I think, you know, Farouk and Bradshaw, very underrated team in 2000. Wish they'd have got a bit of a run with the tag team titles. I think they did. Maybe 99, but they just didn't get enough. I think they were really good in 2000, really entertaining, a really good team. So yeah, right. The fifth match is going to be Taz against Steve Blackman. Now I know he had Taz against Rikishi, and for some reason I actually forgot to leave two people off this show, which is kind of bad. I left Val Venus because I totally forgot about him. I know he probably was the IC champion at the time, but I've kind of tweaked the fantasy a little bit, so apologies for that. Maybe he could have done like Chris Jericho against Val Venus, perhaps. That could have been the opening match for the IC strap, and that would have been perfectly fine as well. And I left Rikishi off as well because, you know, Taz and Rikishi is actually an appealing match to me. I think Rikishi at the time, you know, he was a comedy character, but by the end of 2000 he was getting to be this like despicable character, which was great to see. And it's just a pity how he was booked near the end of 2000. He didn't get that momentum and steam to carry on into 2001, which I think would have lasted at least till WrestleMania anyway, maybe gone further, but it's just a pity with that. So yeah, I left Rikishi and Val off. You know, if you wanted to do a pre-show heat match, I guess you could have those two in it, but I thought Taz and Steve Blackman kind of, with Taz's kind of thug kind of street fighting abilities and like Steve Blackman's martial arts, that this could be a good contrast in styles perhaps. So I don't know exactly how you build the feud. I mean, Taz, as Lundrick said, very underrated guy in 2000, kind of just dropped off the radar after a couple of months. I think he was irrelevant probably by WrestleMania 2000, so I wish they'd probably done a little bit more with him. I know Steve Blackman and Shane had a really good hardcore match for the title, but I just feel like you could have done something a little bit different with Shane. So this match goes 8 to 10 minutes. I think maybe Steve Blackman might go over. It's tough. It could go either way, but I think it would just be a nice little match for your fifth match on the card. So right, this will be one of the first big-ish matches I'm going to talk about next, and that will be the sixth match. We've got Kane against Shane for the hardcore title. Now, I think Shane was the hardcore champion at the time. I could be wrong. I might have made a few mistakes in this booking, but I think Kane and Shane in 2000 would have been friggin' awesome. I mean, I know they had a pretty decent feud in 2003, but I just feel like this would have been a really crazy friggin' match. I mean, I remember that match Shane and Kurt Angle had at Royal Rumble. Oh, sorry, not Royal Rumble, King of the Ring 2000. I thought that was a cracking match, and if you have Kane do some big moves, some big spots, you could have a similar kind of quality match, a 4-star level match, I reckon. And you know what? I think Shane is one of the most underrated non-in-ring performers of all time. He put on some cracking matches in his little career that he had. So, I'm not sure again how you would exactly build the feud. I guess Kane wants to go away from Taker and, maybe have him on a path of destruction again, something like that, and, Shane's in his way, basically, or, I don't know, it's tough to know. I mean, Shane was great around this time as well, because he was, managing Benoit in, around this time, Fully Loaded 2000, so, my next match could intertwine the fact that Kane faces Shane, and the other match is going to be Undertaker and Chris Benoit, and maybe intertwine the fact that Shane manages Benoit and he's sending Benoit after Undertaker, and he's maybe goes after Kane. Maybe that could be the storyline, something like that, perhaps. So, I guess Kane has to go over, have him with the strap for a couple of months, make him be dominant, and then eventually have someone take it off him. I'm just thinking now as well, I've kind of left off Crash Holly and a few other guys, but as I said, it's very tough. The roster was so in-depth. It's really tough to fit everyone in a card without it being a 15-match show. I think 11 matches is a lot, but I just felt like it needed to be done because it is a big show like SummerSlam. So I guess we'll have Kane go over. Kane at the time, probably face. I don't think I would have actually turned him heel the way he went against Undertaker. Obviously, Shane will be the heel. So, yeah, I think that'd be a good match, 12 to 15 minutes. A good, fun match where you get some nice spots and, entertained. I think that's the key about 2000. It had so much variety, and a lot of the cards had so much different variety where, you didn't just get a card where, it was all the same kind of shit. You just got so much different things. That's why I think 2000 is the best year. So many characters, so many really good matches, so many good segments. Just a great year overall. So, number 7, Undertaker v Chris Benoit. Now, I'm just looking at the notepad here, and it says Undertaker v Christ Benoit, so I guess that's kind of funny, but, no, I think, this match would have been great, and it's a shame, as Lundrick said, I don't think these guys ever had a proper pay-per-view match, and at this time, I think this would have been perfect for Chris Benoit to face someone like The Undertaker. And you know what, Lundrick? I'm going to go against you, and I think Chris Benoit personally maybe should have gone over in this match. Whether it's clean or not, you can debate about that. I maybe he shouldn't go over clean, but I just think he should go over in this match. I think that match he had against Rock really showed that this guy can be such a legitimate main eventer, only being in the company 6 months, and looking back at Fully Loaded 2000, Chris Benoit could have easily won the strap at that show. So I think this would have been a really good match. Undertaker, perfect gimmick at the time. Chris Benoit just disrespecting Undertaker. He's saying, "This is my yard, I'm the Wolverine," and Undertaker, the badass, saying, "Nah, you ain't got my respect yet, boy," or something like that to kind of build up the storyline. I think this would be pretty good over TV, over Raw and SmackDown over the weeks building up to the show. So I think you'd have a 15 to 18 minute match, and it could go a little bit brawly as well. A little outside the ring, maybe even some cheap shots with weapons perhaps, but you'll stick it to the ring for the most part with some good technical wrestling from Benoit and some good stuff from Taker. As Lundrick said, I don't think Taker was at his full potential in 2000. He was only coming back from a bad injury, which I didn't even realise until he said in the video. So really good match, I reckon. Right, so the next match we got Stephanie McMahon v Lita. Now, you could have gone Stephanie McMahon v Chyna, but Lita was really hot at the time, physically and overly. She was really good looking, really popular at the time, arguably the most popular diva at the time in WWE, and maybe this would have been a perfect time to actually put the strap on her for the first time. You build up some feud with Stephanie. You know what? I actually could say, like, Stephanie could be like the way she's acting now with Brie Bella, something similar where she keeps putting Lita down and putting her all these situations where she's always in the doghouse and getting the shit kicked out of her. And I think that could perfectly lead up to a match where Lita says, if you think you're that good, I want a match against you, and she has to win some number one contendership match against like Ivory or something, maybe, or something like that to kind of build up the match. So I think Stephanie was still the women's champion at this time, so I think this would be a perfect match. Doesn't have to go too long, 6 to 8 minutes, maybe a little longer, but a perfect match just to kind of cool down after the really good Chris Benoit Undertaker match, and then going into the next match, which is one of the big matches of the show. So I think it'd be really good. Match number 9. I mean, this match can't really be changed. TLC match, Hardys, Dudleys, Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian were going in as the champions at the time. This match was friggin' awesome. As Lundrick said, this and the WrestleMania 2000 matches, arguably the best ladder matches out of the three. WrestleMania 17 probably gets a lot of praise when the other two probably are just as good, maybe better. But these guys, wow, some crazy spots, some crazy chemistry. Just do the exact same build, what they did on TV, the introduction of the concerto then from Edge and Christian, Dudley's doing table spots, Hardy's doing the ladder spots, just everything pretty much kept the same. And as we said, it's tough now. Edge and Christian, I think the Dudleys went in as the champions at 2000, and then Edge and Christian won. Edge and Christian are going in here as the champions, but I agree, it's got to be probably Hardy's, and then second best Dudley's. Edge and Christian going into all these matches and retaining, I didn't really like that. I thought that Hardy's could have got a good run for a couple of months as champions. You could still do like tag matches with these two again, maybe a triple threat cage. You could have done other things like Dudley's Hardy's again, Edge and Christian Hardy's. You could have had endless possible things, Hardy's against APA, TNA, Too Cool, so many different tag matches you could have had, but you have to have a decently length match, 20 to 25 minutes, and definitely Hardy's to go over in this match. Right, we've got 2 matches left, and this is going to be like our double main event, and I'm keeping something similar that Lundrick had. We had Triple H v Kurt Angle. This would have made more sense in the long run. I think what he said, it was probably one of the most underrated angles in 2000, where it could have gone over a number of pay-per-views. This could have stretched to like No Mercy-ish, that pay-per-view perhaps, and Triple H and Kurt Angle. And you know what? I kind of agree. I think maybe Stephanie should align with Kurt Angle, perhaps, or something more should have happened where this pay-per-view stretches out. So maybe she interferes, costs Triple H the match. Angle goes over. Triple H is kind of tweenery, babyface-ish at the moment. Angle's like tweenery, heelish. So makes perfect sense. I think these guys could have put on a really cracking wrestling match. Give it time. You know, there's a lot of emotion in there with Triple H. The stuff with Trish was great as well. It just added to the dynamic of the storyline. Just everything. I think this should have just carried on, and maybe possibly ended in a Hell in a Cell. I mean, to be honest, I actually think Kurt Angle maybe got the title a little bit too soon. Late 2000. Yeah, he had a great friggin' year, but I think you could have built that momentum on, possibly till maybe SummerSlam of the following year, where he could have won the title then, maybe for the first time. That would have been a big moment, I think. You still had Austin coming back in that time. You had to do Austin Rock at WrestleMania 17, so I don't think that would have been the right time. Having him win at No Mercy, he dropped it a few months later, so having him win at like SummerSlam, and maybe carrying that on to like Royal Rumble-ish of 2002, maybe till WrestleMania even 18, where he could have dropped it to Triple H then, when things and circumstances changed then. I think that could have been a good thing. So Angle probably got the title a little bit too soon, and he was so good at the time. He was so good then, and he improved so much. Like 2002 Kurt Angle, friggin' amazing. 2003 great. 2004 great. So the guy just kept improving. So, and he went from like really comedy to a lot more serious, even though he had still comedy in it. Kurt Angle really underrated. But I think winning the title in 2000 possibly was a little bit too soon. So right, number 11, the main event of this show. Now, this could be a bit controversial now. Maybe people don't want to see this, but I just never understood why they booked Big Show so badly in 2000. So we got Big Show v The Rock, and this could have been a really big, marquee match. I mean, they had all that bullshit, to be honest, at Royal Rumble 2000, where honestly I think The Rock should have just won the Rumble, gone on to WrestleMania 2000 against Triple H, had that program go for a couple of months. He comes out as a champion. It could switch back and forth a few times. He goes on to SummerSlam, and actually properly for the first time faces a really big test in the Big Show. Now, for me, I actually might put the title on Big Show and just have him have a run. Have him have a run to maybe like Survivor Series or Royal Rumble 2001. And then you know what? You've always got that option to drop it back to Rock, in some either singles match again or a triple threat match or something. So, I just thought that, giving Big Show the chance, you brought him in specifically to kind of compete against WCW. I don't necessarily know how business would have done if he was champion, but at least give him a run for a couple of months and see, I think Big Show, from when he did come in, I think it was in 99, he kind of tailed off by like end of 2001, so maybe give him this run and see how he actually was, because he was pretty good at the time. He was quite athletic, he looked pretty good, he looked dominant. Obviously build him up to this title, have him even possibly win King of the Ring to get this title shot, or build him up over pay-per-views where he deserves the title shot. So, that's pretty much my booking. 18 to 20 minutes for that main event. You could have Rock retain, but give Big Show a chance, I think. Rock can always get the strap and still be over. I don't think necessarily The Rock needs the strap all the time. Even him not having the strap, he's still probably more over than certain guys who actually have the strap. So, yeah, please comment, rate, and subscribe. I might do some more videos soon, maybe a couple more rebooking SummerSlam videos. Maybe actually talk about the show in a couple of weeks. Maybe talk about some other wrestling news and stuff when it comes nearer the time. So, anyway, this is Mr. Lucid LJ. Peace, good luck, bye-bye.